Hello and welcome to another episode of Psychology Funness. With me, Will.
And me, Sarah.
And her, Sarah. I am very much the brain box of this operation, and Sarah is very much the radio face.
People are going to get bored of you saying
That's
that.
my catchphrase.
Okay.
I have a catchphrase now. I'm cool. Today we are going to be doing the sources of stress, and apparently there is a lot of them. We're going to kick off with life changes and the SRRRR.
SRRS.
Sarah.
Right. These people, that was the printer. These people, Holmes and Ray, came up with this social readjustment rating scale, which is the SRRS, which consisted of a list of life events numbered with the severity it had affecting stress. Death of a spouse was highest with 100 LUC, which are life change units, and
LCUs.
What did I say?
LCEs.
Oh, LCUs. Sorry, the
Life change units. Go on.
Yeah, the printer put me off. And Christmas had one of the lowest with 12 LCUs. Participants were asked to tick any of the 43 events that applied to them over the last 2 years and add up the total LCUs. Those with 150 or more were 30% likely to suffer a stress-related illness, and 300 or more increased to 50%.
A fact that you do not need to know is that according to this, I'm going to die. The evaluation of the SRRS is that it is a quick and simple measure of stress. Many other studies have found a link between stress and illness. One example is a study of 2,500 American sailors who completed the SRRS before going away for 6 months. While they were away, it was found that a higher score correlated with more illness, with a positive correlation of 0.118 between LCU and illness. There was a correlation, but it wasn't very strong. Because it was 0.118, which is very weak. Some more evaluations is that it doesn't take into account personality type A, and hardiness may affect it. We'll come on to that later. And people who forget whether the events have happened, people may forget, whether the events have happened in the last 2 years. Daily worries or daily hassles may also be important. We'll come on to that again. And participants just tick the applicable, and the events may be perceived differently by different people. So yeah, now, Sarah, daily hassles.
Daily hassles. This bloke, I think is a bloke, Carne, developed a scale of 117 events that would annoy people on a daily basis. They asked 100 middle-aged adults to complete it every month for 9 consecutive months. They also completed the SRRS and found hassles were a better predictor of stress. And they also produced a daily uplift scale. They found that many of the same problems occur with hassles, with the hassles research as the SRRS. It's a correlation. It is a correlation, so cause and effect cannot be determined, and people see hassles differently, and their current state of mind might affect their memory and thus response.
Wow, that's like double whammy of like key features and like evaluation. Now, workplace stress. This is separated, the sort of explanation, definition type thing, separated into about 4 little bits. You could say 5, you might have more, but these are the ones we have chosen because we're special. Work overload and underload. Right. You can assume that long hours result from work overload. One study on people in industry found those who worked over 48 hours per week were twice as likely to develop CHD, coronary heart disease, compared to those working 40 hours or less. Another study found that people given too much work see it as their fault, and if they don't complete it. Too little work is also a cause of stress, as they feel frustrated, undervalued, trying to fill the time.
Right, the second workplace stress is repetitive work. Jobs that require repetition of a simple task are linked to stress. This is largely due to there being little opportunity to take pride in their work or have a sense of achievement.
Social isolation. Workers who are tied to their machines with little opportunities to work. I don't know what I'm doing.
What accent is that?
Little opportunities to walk about. I sound a bit like... Anyway. Workers who are tied to their machines. I sound like an M&S advert now. You got to do the music in the background for this one.
Okay, carry on.
Workers who are tied to their machines with little opportunity to walk about or talk to each other is related to various stress indicators. An example of an indicator is high levels of adrenaline and noradrenaline. Thank you for that. Right, okay. Next one. Lack of control.
People experience stress when they have little or no control over the situation. They feel excluded from the decision-making, leading to stress.
Now, the study associated with this that you need to know about is the Swedish sawmill study, and here is the procedure. The stress levels in two groups of Swedish sawmill workers were compared. The finishers' jobs and the cleaners' jobs, I believe. It's not actually on the card. The finisher's job was to finish the wood at the last process of all the different workers in the study. The work was machine-paced, isolated, very repetitive, yet highly skilled, and the finisher's productivity determined the wage rates of the entire factory. Up to 14 finishers were compared with a low-risk group of 10 cleaners. The findings...
The finishers were found to have a higher blood pressure and a high rate of stomach and intestinal disorders, and were more likely to suffer with headaches. Urine analysis showed high levels of adrenaline and noradrenaline, suggesting that they were experiencing stress.
Evaluation, and this is a big one. It has positive implications. They move to a fixed salary that isn't dependent on productivity, and they rotated jobs to introduce variety by improving job control, and it decreased stress and increased productivity. It was a natural experiment, so we cannot infer cause and effect. Individual differences were not controlled in this study, i.e. behavioural type. It doesn't identify which work stressor was most stressful. Outside work, those workers with poor jobs may have money troubles, causing them stress rather than the workplace itself. This is related to their SES, socio-economic status, as low-grade SES are more likely to smoke, meaning it might be down to that. The sample was biased as it was on sawmill workers in Sweden, so it may not generalise to other cultures or jobs. The final, I believe, maybe, evaluation of workplace stress of this study is a supporting study, which is civil servants, which Sarah will now read the procedure of.
The aim was to test the job strain model of workplace stress, stating that the workplace creates stress due to high demand and low control. 7,372 male and female civil servant workers in London completed the questionnaire and were checked for signs of cardiovascular disease, and it measured their sense of job control and social support. Lifestyle factors were also taken into consideration, like smoking, and then 5 years later they were reassessed and the findings were recorded.
The findings, which I have, is that they found that higher employment graded civil servants had fewest cardiovascular disorders. Lower grade civil servants expressed a weaker sense of job control, and it was found that heart disease could be partly explained in terms of risk factors like smoking. It was concluded that low job control is linked to higher stress and CVD, cardiovascular disorders, but high demand is not linked with stress and illness. The study therefore only partly explains the job stress model.
Woo.
The evaluation, Sarah.
This is related to their SES, the socio-economic status, as low grade as SES are more likely to smoke, meaning it might be down to that. And the sample was biased as it was on civil servants, so it may not generalise to other jobs. And one study was found that ambitious people get more stressed, and it isn't possible with civil servants.
Friedman and Rosenman, TAMP. That's right. We're on to everyone's favourite subject. Isn't it your favourite subject, Sarah?
Yeah.
Personality factors. They found that being type A, TAMP, behavioural pattern made individuals more vulnerable to CHD, coronary heart disease. The features of a type A personality is easily arouse hostility. They have a strong sense of time urgency, and they are very competitive. And type Bs, nice action there. Type Bs do not have these characteristics, do they, Sarah?
No.
What did they do?
Friedman and Roseman, yes, they studied 3.5
Did they?
thousand
Wow. Shocker.
males aged 39 to 58. All three have CHD at the start, and then studied them over 8.5 year period.
8.5 to normal people.
Yes, well, this is what written on the card. They found that type A's were twice as likely to develop CHD by the end of the study than type B's. And of the 257 who died during the study,
They died?
they died.
Bit harsh.
No. Well, yeah. 70% of them were type A. Those showing the characteristics had high blood cholesterol and higher levels of adrenaline and noradrenaline than type B's.
Evaluation. As positive applications, as those with type A can modify their behaviour to prevent getting CHD. Though it's biased, as it's androcentric, therefore cannot be generalised to women, later research found no link with women. It's also biased because it's ethnocentric and some characteristics are exclusive to individualistic cultures, like competitiveness. It's a natural experiment, so we can't infer cause and effect. Type A engage in more high-risk activities like smoking than type B, and more research failed to find a link between TAMP and CHD. Now, type C and cancer, which should not be mixed with type A and B because they're kind of different.
Mm-hmm. Research has suggested a link between cancer and type C personality. Type C individuals are nice, conventional and sociable, but tend to be repressed and react to stress with a sense of helplessness.
The study interviewed 50 women seeking treatment for a breast lump. Their behaviour type was determined by a questionnaire and interview. They found that those with a malignant, that's a cancerous lump, said they had experienced and expressed far less anger than those with a benign, that's a non-cancerous tumour. This supports the link between the expression of anger and cancer. It is a natural experiment, however, so you cannot infer cause and effect. Last personality factor, please, Sarah.
Hardiness.
Right. Wow.
Hard man. Right. Cabasa.
Wow.
Cabasa.
Go.
Pretty cool name. Argued that people cope with stresses differently. Those who cope well with stress were hardy. They needed the following characteristics.
What are they, Sarah?
The first one, commitment. They find meaning in their work/relationships. Second one is challenge. They see things as challenges rather than threats. And the last one is control. They have a stronger sense of personal control. They arguably are the most likely to see stress as a challenge rather than a threat, thus facing it and solving it.
Lots of research supports it, and one concerning male executives hardiness is very important in a high-stress job. Cabasa develops a stress management progress about becoming more hardy to reduce stress levels and illness. This means there have been positive implications. However, some researchers argue that it has no difference. Just that hardy people might take better care of themselves. Cabasa's work on male executives was biased and it may not generalise to other groups of people, and later research found no relationship between women's hardiness and physical health.
However, a link has been found between hardiness and women's mental health. They've found that lower hardiness was linked to anxiety in females.
Are you anxious, Sarah?
Yes, very.
Why?
About this exam.
Right, you'll do fine, as will you, if you listen to our final instalment, which is next time I've got into a funny voice.
You have.
Right, goodbye.
Bye.